field goals. Last time he accomplished that, October of last season in New Orleans. His personal record is 6 in one game. Anderson kicking off to Leland McElroy out across the 30. So the Cardinals will take over once again. Excuse me, Tim, it's my turn to use the telestrator. Okay. You know, I've enjoyed reading your books all year. I put a book together, too. So here we go. It's the book on Tim Green. There he is. 1986 first-round draft pick of the Falcons. In 1996, a first-class heater. And I may forget my gym clothes. Tim Green always forgets his socks and his belt.
No, I don't always forget my belt. I always forget my socks. But fortunately, you, Kenny Albert, have so many socks because you don't have any. You got so much room in your bag. You leave the gym clothes home, so you got about 10 pairs of socks. So I never feel a great amount of pressure to pack my socks. I know that I can always count on you for some dress socks. Of course, Peter Bleckner, our director, was nice enough to give me a package of socks for Christmas.
Extra socks for Tim.
I got the socks. All right, I'm going to have to get you some gym clothes out of my bag.
Now second down and 6 for the Cardinals. And Boomer took a hit as he lets one go. Double coverage on the play.
That's what it is. And if you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles have done, they've just rushed 3 and they've dropped 8 into coverage. Now here they are. Here's the 3 guys up front. You're going to see them. So that means everybody else is back in coverage. And that gives the Philadelphia Eagles the luxury of double covering each and every wide receiver. So Boomer is not having any success as Kent Graham was not having earlier.
Graham 4 of 15. Boomer 2 for 9.
Of course, Boomer left last week from the team saying that it was because of incentives that the Cardinals didn't want to pay him, but he's having an opportunity right now to get some of those incentives. So that obviously
chalks on some yardage.
I mean, if Boomer gets 155 yards in this game, he gets an extra $100,000. So Vince Tobin putting him back in, trying to get a spark, showing that absolutely not. That he was not concerned with incentives at all. And Vince Tobin was insulted. Vince Tobin said, hey, I'm not that kind of guy. He's got 37 of those 155 so far. So they're giving Boomer a shot at 100,000. Now, Boomer said it wasn't about money, but he said it was about incentives, and then he said it was about character.
Right, then he backtracked on the incentives point.
Right. You see there, those kind of numbers. I mean, that's the same kind of numbers that Kent Graham had. 40% of his passes.
5-yard penalty, first down.
And the guy who's doing that, really, as much as anybody, is Emmett Thomas. Up in the booth, he devised an outstanding game plan against the Arizona Cardinals. There's Emmett. And again, as you said, a guy whose name comes up as a head coach around the league.
As does the name of Cardinals offensive coordinator Jim Fossil, rumored to perhaps take over the New York Giants, as Pat Carter, who did not have any drops until last week against Washington, hang on to that one.
What happened is people have gotten onto his game. Because what happened earlier in the season was Jim Fossil said, hey, nobody was covering Pat Carter because he was never a receiving tight end. He was a blocking tight end. So I said, hey, if the Arizona Cardinals can be a playoff team and a team that turns around, why can't Pat Carter catch passes? So they used that trick, but now teams are picking up on it.
Esiason and a wide-open Carter, but they could not connect.
Wow. I mean, he could have almost gotten his incentives on that play alone. Talk about an opportunity to pick up $100,000. Man, I mean, here it is right here. There's Boomer, and there's Carter. Look at that. Nobody even close. Now, that's the defense of old playing against Carter. That's what defenses used to do. They used to leave Carter open, and then they started making passes to him, and then they started covering him up. On that play there, he did everything he could to get open. Boomer just couldn't deliver the ball.
4 wide receivers on third down and 10. Esiason throws a bullet, and it's complete. Anthony Edwards makes the catch. So the Cardinals' drive continues. First down. Remember, Esiason had that unbelievable fourth quarter against the Eagles just 4 weeks ago. 180 yards and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone as the Cardinals came back to win that game. Esiason again. Nope. Let's see. Did he hang on? Sanders could not hold on.
Man, Michael Zordich laid some serious plastic to him. And that's what Zordich does. I mean, people say, oh, Zordich, he's old, he's lost a step. You know what? He has great anticipation, just a great feel for the ball. Look at that. I mean, look at the impact of that hit. That's football right there. I mean, that's what you want your safety to do. A guy catches the ball, wham! You hammer him hard enough to knock that ball right out of there. I mean, look at the guy. I mean, look at the build. He's got the biceps. He's got the whole thing working.
Sanders has taken some hits today.
Yeah, he has. He's going to be ready for that offseason.
To the sidelines, it's Anthony Edwards. And another Cardinals first down. Just over 11 minutes remaining in the final game of the season for Vince Tobin's Cardinals. As they trail 29-6, Boomer Esiason now with 71 yards. You mentioned that at center when he hits 155. When and if. Esiason looking end zone. Rob Moore covered on the play by the right cornerback Bobby Taylor.
That's outstanding coverage by Taylor. And we've seen him doing it all game long. And again, you see him right up here on Moore. So he's up and he's ready to press him. And you know that Taylor has the ability to play a physical game. And now you see that he also has the speed to play the speed game in coverage as well. Now, for Bobby Taylor to play well, he needs to mix it up. You know, he's like the quiet kid in class, and he is a quiet kid. You know, for the quiet kid to really unleash everything he has, somebody's got to push him around a little bit. And when he gets into a shoving match, he plays at his best.
Esiason looked to dump it off, but could not connect, and it will be 3rd and 10.
Pass incomplete. It's now 3rd and 10.
Esiason checking with offensive coordinator Jim Fossil. 3rd and 10. 3 Cardinal wide receivers. Esiason is taken down. 3rd sack of the game for William Fuller, now with 13 on the season.
Boy, William Fuller just keeps going. He's not one of the marquee defensive guys as far as, recognition. You don't see him doing commercials or anything like that, but all he ever does is he's relentless to the quarterback, and he comes up with multiple sacks, 2 double-digit sacks, year after year after year. He does it in a quiet way. He's one of these kind of quiet, you see there, congenial guys. He's smiling, he's pointing at Joe Wolf, saying, I got you again.
Esiason from the shotgun, 4th down. Leland McElroy has the first down and a touchdown. McElroy into the end zone on the 21-yard pass play from Esiason. His first receiving touchdown this year. He scored 1 rushing touchdown, and that was against the Eagles as well.
Yeah, but the most impressive thing about that touchdown was the running that he did after the reception. And you get to see a little bit of what this young man has. And he's got a lot. I mean, he told us yesterday he likes to run between the tackles. He put on 10 pounds. He's big. He's not big, but he's made himself big, and he's made himself physical. But there you see him running with his instincts.
The extra point is wide left. So Butler misses his 2nd extra point of the season.
Here's the run. Now he made the catch. Now watch Leland McElroy turn the instincts on.
Albert, Jim Green from the vet in Philadelphia, where Leland McElroy has scored the Cardinals' first touchdown of the afternoon. This will roll all the way into the end zone, where Derek Witherspoon will go down to one knee. Flag was thrown all the way back at the 40-yard line. And the officials will get together. Already 16 penalties this afternoon.
Offsides, kicking team, number 84. Penalties declined. First down.
We'll return to Veterans Stadium right after these messages.
Oh, Jeff Moore, our BA, the man in charge of the graphics all year. Is it lame? Well, it was kind of lame. We're not going to worry about our jobs from Jeff, but nice job, Jeff. Nice work. It was fun working with you. See,
that was only their first take, however.
That's true. Yeah, we usually get a couple takes before we go with it up here.
And of course, in our final game of this '96 season, we would like to thank some of the members of our crew who have enjoyed this 1996 season. Jamie McCombs, Mike Montavani, the Senator, Bill Murillo, Jay Clark, Bill Sullivan, Terry McIntyre, Keith Pappas, Susan Vicidio, Tim Walbert, Steve Baldwin, Gene Matthews, Michael Address. Second down upcoming, 2nd and 4 for the Eagles. Who lead the Cardinals 29-12. Waters around left tackle. Of course, Larry Barbat-Solis. Our producer, Keith Pelly. Colleen Colivas. Jeff Moore, Dave Clancy, Brent Wallace. Barry Hockhazer, Eric Merlis, Ben Boma, Dave Brooks. And last Tim, but certainly not least.
No, I think you got everybody.
I think that was it?
Yep.
Not missing anybody, huh?
Oh, the director.
Of course we are.
Peter Bleckner. The man who loves to get his name out on the airwaves. We almost forgot him, Kenny. But how could you? He's done a great job all season.
We had it the whole time. Irving Fryer makes the catch, took a hit for the Eagles' first down, and Irving lets the Cardinals know about it.
They talk about a guy who really not only turned his football career around, but really turned his life around. Irving Fryer, of course, played for many years with the New England Patriots and then down in Miami, but somewhere in there, his life seemed to be off track, and he got it on track. Now he's an ordained minister, very religious man. You see there that he's had an outstanding 13-year career in the National Football League.
In fact, with that last catch, Waters takes the handoff. He moved up to the number 11 spot on the all-time NFL receptions list with 650 in his career. Now acting as the peacemaker between Jason Dunn and Michael Bankston.
And that's exactly what you'd expect from an ordained minister. I mean, you know, he sees a little conflict out there and says, all right, you know, let's just settle down here. Jason Dunn, the rookie tight end, who Ray Rhodes swears is going to be an incredible talent in the National Football League. And if Ray Rhodes says it, I would tend to believe it.
He speaks with authority. Waters using a stiff arm on Bernard Wilson. Another Philadelphia first down.
You know, it's really amazing to me that Ricky Waters cannot control his outbursts and his emotions and act a little less selfishly than he does, because he's an outstanding football player. He really is, and he does these kinds of things. He makes these kinds of runs, and he's just been an outstanding player for the Eagles, but he has spoken out so often against his teammates and coaches that it just makes you wonder. I mean, the Eagles have a hard time swallowing what he has to offer, even though he's such an outstanding player.
And Ricky Waters has jumped above Barry Sanders in the race for the NFC rushing title, but Sanders, of course, will be in action tomorrow night, the Monday night game against San Francisco. But for the moment, Waters has the edge.
Yeah, that's